been the major focus for you over the break?
Over the break, a very small break, nonetheless a break. Yeah, we took our time to recharge. You know, even though it's 3 games in for us, it's an important to utilise those opportunities because, as we know, the season is quite long. So basically, just took stock of how we're going. Happy with our start. Obviously, understanding there's work to do. So shift our focus onto Gold Coast pretty early.
Any sort of specifics that stood out to you in the early part that you wanted to improve on or happy with?
I think overall we're pretty happy with the bulk of the game plan. Defensively, thought early in this, the first couple of weeks we were a little bit hit and miss a little bit. I thought we tidied that up against West Coast really well, so our challenge is to continue that moving forward. Everything else I think is going okay at the moment, but we review each week. Things bob up that we need to address, and we do that accordingly.
Aaron Cabin said on Tuesday, I think it was, he felt like he's come of age as a footballer and now understands the game plan more and that sort of stuff. Would you agree with him as he's coach?
Yeah. I mean, just watching him, he certainly sets up where we want him to. He's a big target for us ahead of the ball. Just love the way he launches at the ball now. He wasn't really doing that at the same level last year, and I think that's the shift in his game for me that I see. His ability to really launch at the ball and create a great contest. Sometimes he marks it. A lot of the times he brings the ball to ground for our smalls to get to work. So he's competing really well, and so he's a terrific start to the season. But again, bigger and better challenges are on their way, so he needs to maintain that.
Kaz was kind of asked as well, particularly in the week, about the momentum of having a bye so early in the year. What have you noticed this week about how the players have come back, having that break much earlier than they probably used to?
Yeah, it is. You're right. It's certainly different to have a bye this early in the season, but our players enjoyed their time off, came back refreshed, ready to go, ready to attack. We're straight back into business mode the moment we walk back into the door. So I've certainly got the sense that the players are ready to get back to work, and excited about how we started, but obviously aware of the challenges that Gold Coast present and the challenges we'll have beyond that.
Have you seen a bit of the build-up online about the expansion cup? And
I have actually. I wasted 3 minutes watching it. No, it's good fun. I think our media department do a wonderful job engaging our fans and really engaging all fans of the AFL. And we have a bit of a laugh, and that's probably real strength of ours as a footy club. We can sort of laugh at ourselves as well as others, and be pretty light-hearted when the time's right.
Obviously, there's a real battle this weekend from some of the guys from the 2019 draft. You've got Rowley, you've got Tom Green, you've got Lockie Ash, you've got Noah Anderson. It's a pretty impressive crop that year, wasn't it?
Well, it's panning out to be, yeah. What are they, 4 years in now? So, look, we're happy with theirs. I'm sure they're happy with their picks. We're happy with our picks, as I said. And, obviously it's a bit more than just those guys, but obviously we did well that year, so they're contributing really strongly for us.
Will we see Tom Green and Matt Rowell go head-to-head, and how important is that battle going to be?
Yeah, we probably will. He's their clearance king, Tom's probably ours, so I'm sure they'll be matched up a lot of the times around stoppages, and then we'll just assess to see how it's going. If Matt Rowell's bobbing up, then we'll certainly try and minimise that damage that he can inflict on the opposition. Opening round he had 20 clearances in a single game, which is extraordinary, so we know he's capable. Clearly pick one, polls really well on the Brownlow whenever he plays, so we know he's a great quality player, so we'll have to make sure that we can minimise the damage that he'll do.
How important is that sort of battle in the context of the entire game?
Well, they're a really strong clearance team, and if they do get clearances going their way, they're really hard to beat, irrespective of whether it's 6 years ago or now. And so we need to be able to really control those stoppages and minimise the damage that they can create from them. One of our strengths is being able to do that. I think stoppage defence is a real strength of ours. We'll just continue to keep our finger on the pulse with it as the game progresses and make changes as we see fit.
Do you take much out of that game in Canberra before the season started in terms of how Gold Coast go about their business? But because they look at quite a different side already a couple of weeks in after that game.
Yeah, look, there were some things in that game that we'll obviously take out of and try and implement into our game this week. But I think they'll be a little bit different too. First game under a new system under Dimmer, they didn't quite get that right, which I'm sure they've addressed, and they look like they're they're a little bit better now. So, we've certainly addressed that with our group. We've shown the Oppo stuff, and we feel like we've prepared really well for their best.
You obviously know Dimmer so well. Can you see the signs of what he's doing already at the Suns in the opening month or so of the season?
Yeah, certainly can. Yeah, they're going to be a very good team if they're not already. And certainly the way that Dimmer wants his teams to play, that's evident in the way that Gold Coast go about it. So, ladder positions and what people may think externally, internally we know this is going to be a really hard game.
It's
And they're
pouring
high
rain.
quality.
I beg your pardon.
No, go.
Sorry, I was just going to point out it's pouring rain and the
Yep.
number 8's still out there.
Yeah.
Putting his hand up. Is he any chance of an early return?
I would expect he is for next week. I would expect. He needs to get through a full week of training next week and then see how he feels after that. If he is, he'll certainly be up for selection, and then it'll be up to match committee to put him in or leave him out.
So he's well ahead of schedule.
Well ahead, yeah. He's probably 3 weeks ahead of schedule. It's remarkable.
Sorry, is it guaranteed to come back in, or is it a little headache there? I mean, you're going well, you're very settled.
I wouldn't say it's guaranteed, but I would say it's a pretty strong chance. He's a pretty good player.
Yeah.
But we'll just assess. We'll get through this game. Hopefully, we play our level, everyone plays well, and then we'll assess. But that'll be for next week.
How's that coming? How far away is he?
I'd imagine he's still a few weeks, probably 3 or 4, would be my guess. Again, there's a bit of work to be done between now and then. So, all things going well, that's what the plan will look like. Hopefully, we don't have any hiccups with it.
And unchanged this week?
Unchanged.
Jesse, obviously big news that he's re-signed. What have you made of the way in which he's progressed since you came to the club and the influence he's had?
Well, since I've been here, the influence has been tremendous that I've seen, and it's probably the same before I got here too. But his ability to manage his body, to get himself up, ready to go, the influence he's had over our younger key forwards in Jake Riccardi and Aaron Cadman and Max Gruszewski has been significant. It's easier for them to play when Jesse's standing next to them because he does shoulder a lot of the work, particularly long down the line stuff and competing in the aerial. So not only does he support them, he actually shows them how to do it properly. And so I think he's a huge influence, particularly over that crop.
Gather round. Do you embrace the concept? Do you like it?
Yeah, I think gather round's a wonderful concept. It certainly, was really well run last year over in Adelaide, and I'm sure it'll be the same this year. From a selfish point of view, I think we'd love to see it in Sydney. I think it's an enormous opportunity to grow the game in this market, and so we'll see where that goes. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we can hold it in Sydney one day.
Obviously, you guys are heading out to the hills, and while it might look like not the biggest ground, it's the same dimensions as the MCG. So do you think that's something the team will embrace?
Absolutely, yeah. We've already addressed that. It's virtually identical to NG Stadium, and so it shouldn't be anything of a surprise to us. Clearly, the surrounds will be a little bit different, but it's a wonderful ground, and so we expect the same performance.
And what do you think that it says about the success of both the Giants and the Suns that you've got a game between the two teams in Adelaide that's sold out?
Yeah, well, it's interesting, isn't it? And there is that little bit of rivalry there, no doubt. Both the newest clubs in the comp, and both trending towards hopefully towards some success sooner rather than later. And as you mentioned, similar players coming out of the same drafts and played against these guys a lot. So it is a bit of a rivalry and one that we want to try and own as best as we can. To have it sold out is great, and it's going to be a really good game. I'm sure of that.